Okay, we're okay. The ladies, Amy says, "Has it started yet?" Yes, we started. I'm going to go into make sure everything's okay. We have a few people here. We have a lot of people. Oh my God, there's a lot of people here. Yeah,
I
so
can't
we were.
see anyone. I might have to go on my
If you
phone.
look, okay, yeah. Try to set up. If you have a computer screen on the left side, you click the little icon. You can see the messages on your screen. If you're on iPad, I don't know. You might have to put your phone on silent and read it that way. Amy Lynn Katarhara, Alon Weinstein, Paula Whitmarsh is in the house. Hello, Paula. Michelle Mueller. Hello. From Marrakesh, Kathleen Marsh, Clive Selby. Hi, Cheryl Nader. Long time no see. Lori Andrews, Pauline in the house. Hello. Good to see you, Mary Beckius. Oh, there's too many people. Hello, everybody. And
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
I love this guy. I don't know if y'all saw Dr. Joe on my show, Joseph Delaney. He's over from near Liverpool. He's incredible. Honey Borden's in the house. He says, "Howdy doody chaps." Howdy doody chaps from the
howdy doody everybody.
Yeah, Austin, Texas. Yeah, a lot of people here. Okay, so let me double check. I think our sound's okay, but I just want to double check. Oh my God, what a night! I purged all night long. Like I said,
do we want to know about that, Todd?
It was energetic.
Well, we had to.
It was energetic. I've been purging it.
Okay.
You know what? You know when I purge, for the most part, I purge in dream state, in lucid dreams. I purge, and I'm very clear on it. That's what I mean. I mean energetically, but it's physically exhausting. You know? Yeah, you're right. You're so funny.
You'll get no sense out of me tonight.
Yeah. So I've been. I spent 8 hours yesterday with Lisa Transcendence-Brown, which is always an intense and beautiful experience. And I came home and spent a few hours with Morgan, which is sometimes intense and beautiful experience. And then I purged energetically all night long, which was an intense experience and beautiful. But we're all elevating and everything's okay. Thank you both for joining me, my two beautiful sisters.
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Hello, everybody. Happy solstice.
Is today the solstice? That was my first question.
Yes.
Oh, it is?
Yes,
okay.
It is. Oh, bless you, love. Bless you.
I don't even see us on screen here. I don't even know where we're on. Oh, here we are. Yeah,
Trust me, you're there. You're there.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we're good. Yeah. I hear that Texas accent. All right. So, today is the solstice. I believe it occurs at 7:07 p.m. or something like that over here. I don't know about y'all. So, anyway, what have y'all been doing?
I've been at the beach having fun.
Yes, that's what I heard. What I heard. What about you, Amanda? We were just talking. I've been watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy for the first time in my life, and Amanda comes on with her accent. It's the same thing. It's incredible.
No, it's not, Todd. It's not. That's like saying all Americans sound the same, isn't it?
Well, what kind of accent do they have in that movie? I know you probably don't even remember because you're just looking at Orlando Bloom.
I know. Well, there you go. Yeah.
Oh my God! But could he fight though? Man, those elves were tough, man. Wow, pulling all those arrows out, and those other things are ugly, man. Those are ugly. The orcs.
Yeah, the orcs aren't nice, are they? No, but it's an amazing film to watch.
Yeah, they really are. They really are. So what is this 11/11 and then another 12/12. Now we're at 12/21. I remember last year, I think we did a winter solstice thing. Amanda? I think we did.
You might be right. I've no idea. Yeah. I don't remember. I know I was very active last year, and I went up the tour. I don't know whether I went up on Solstice. I think I went up on the Solstice day, but I was very active outside, as in streaming and meeting people, and so this coming up to this solstice, I wasn't getting anything to do. As in, I wondered if I needed to go up the tour, and I checked in yesterday telepathically, and the answer was no, you don't need to go up the tour. And then I saw all of these events around Glastonbury that are happening today and tomorrow, and I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, but I don't need to be at them either. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do with myself today? And now I understand what it was all about, as in it was the best thing I could do to not go out. I mean, I've been outside my caravan, but I've stayed on the farm, and it was I can understand why I was being guided to stay here, and it was because of the energy and what it's actually done, what this portal has done. I can't wait to see how Kerry's been getting on today with that, because it's just been a dream come true, really.
Yeah, I saw, I've seen a lot of people writing some really good stuff. Oh. And I saw the stuff you've been putting out, and I saw something that Kerry put out. I think it was about 4 or 5 days ago, Kerry. But I turned 57 a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember everything in detail.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it was a happy birthday until I went to get some car insurance yesterday for the first time in 5 years, and I realized my license expired on my birthday. so I got to go deal with that.
Oh.
But so what is happening out there? I mean, we talked about, and the reason I made the reference to last year is because Amanda and I started doing shows around October 2017, and it went for like 2 or 3 months off and on. And then I remember there was a lot of stuff going on around this time last year. I don't remember specifically, but I remember the energy of it. And then, of course, this year's just been like off the hook, especially the last few weeks. And I just think having 3 different perspectives is really cool. Yeah. So, I mean, like in South Africa, in your world on the beach over there, while you're over there just laying around, getting a tan, what's happening over there? How are you feeling? What's going on?
Intense. It's really, really intense. And I think we all needed the beach. I think we needed to break the intensity. But it's been a build-up. We can look at a day like today and we can say, well, it's a significant day because it's solstice. But in truth, it's not the 12/12s or the 8/8s or whatever the day is. It's the build-up towards that day. And so this build-up has been ongoing for me personally for 2 months. And yesterday it broke. Yesterday was the first day, and I shared it with Amanda, where we just, as a family, I've got 3 children, we went to the beach, Todd, and we just had, fun is the wrong word, because when you say fun, everybody kind of thinks, oh, you went to the beach and you had fun. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a level of joy and a level of ecstasy, a level of lightness that I do not recall ever experiencing in my life. So there is this massive upgrade that I'm very, very aware of. And it feels like it's amplified absolutely everything. So today I closed my eyes just for a few brief moments of stillness. And I realized that I was calm. But exactly like my experience at the beach yesterday, where it was another level of fun, it's almost like our words are describing something. We're using the same word to describe a new energy, and it doesn't quite fit anymore because everything is elevated and intensified. So today I felt calm, but calm again is the wrong word, because it was a kind of calm I have never, ever thought of or experienced. It was like every cell in my body was in a state of absolute blissful relief and release. It was like oh God, finally. That's what it felt like for me. And I felt so completely cushioned and held in this beautiful, soft, silvery blue light. So I'm having experiences over here that can be described with words like calm and fun, but it doesn't do it justice. It's an elevated, upgraded sense of everything we've ever known before. So that to me is what's going on. I feel that everything has reached another octave. We have truly shifted dimensions. We have truly begun that now. And today, the message for me was loud and it was clear. And it was, this is the first step, the first real step into ascension consciousness. Did you get it too, Amanda?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the way you're smiling. I can see it.
Yeah.
This is it. This was the first step. This was the first state of what we've been calling ascension. This was the first official step today.
Yeah. I'll try and sum up, say the last. Do you remember September, Todd? What we said, the sum total of all that you have done. So that was activation time, September. October time. So we're talking about the mass ascension timeline, as in the galactic timeline of how it presents to planet Earth and the collective. So that's the potential, basically. And from that potential, when it comes in, everybody can be activated at their pace, at their storyline, at their path. So October on a mass collective timeline was purge time. And it was a huge purge. And then November, fast forward, was cellular activation time, when all the cells were upgraded. So this happens to people at their own pace. But the point is, it comes in as the potential. So cellular activation, it was a whole body, every single cell was activated. And people I know they are going through that right now, because anybody that's complaining of stomach pains, all of that is to do with cellular activation. So if we go fast forward to now, today, once that cellular activation has been completed, we've got the portal of today. And portals work by frequency attracts frequency. So if the person matches the frequency of the portal, they're able to go through the portal and experience that higher state. That's how portals work. It's based on energy frequency. So the portals are here and they affect everybody, but they affect everybody in different ways based on their frequency. The point is that portal has brought in the potential to go through to a higher state of consciousness and being. And so from today onwards, that potential is there now in the collective, in Gaia, for everybody. So nobody has to wait for another portal to come round for them to go through into their higher state. The portal's been open. And so this is why, I mean, please tell me if you disagree or if it doesn't resonate with you, but this is how I get it, is because I'm shown how energy works. It's all about frequency, matching frequency. And they're like gateways. The portal's like a gateway, and the gateway opens and the consciousness goes through. And that's why Kerry's experiencing, she's trying to say what it's like using words that just don't describe it. So for me today, the words I would have used for my day were peace, absolute bliss, wonder, gratefulness. But they don't come close, because all of the people watching, I'm sure, have experienced bliss. We've all experienced bliss and peacefulness. But this is a higher octave because we've gone through the portal. And if I had to sum up today what this portal's about, the potential, it's there, it's here for everybody now at their particular path, is I actually feel home. So we've been on an ascension path. We've been trying our hardest. We've been at it day in, day out. It's become our way of life and being to be on an ascending path home. And I feel home today. I'm home. And that's why you can't describe it. And that potential is there now for everybody because of the portal, this particular portal. So this portal came last year and it was huge. It was massive last year. But if you imagine its energy is on a spiral, our consciousness spirals. So that portal has come round again, but it's not the same portal as last solstice. It's at a higher place. It's at a higher frequency. So we are given the potential of a higher experience. I hope that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I was in a playful mood, and then you guys started, and it took me back to where I've been. You know, in fact, Morgan is laying down this morning. I get up to get to work, and I wrote her a note, and the note we can't describe that. That really says it all. We can't describe what's happening. I've spent the last 10 days with Morgan, 2 weeks after being, brought together, separated, brought together, separated, brought together again. I end up over here in Hawaii. It doesn't make any sense in the human world, all these things happening. I forged a relationship with my sister, Lisa Transcendence Brown. I spent the last week with Morgan together, and this is just it's not about me and her. This is the energy that you're describing. And I had this constant urge to tell her how much I appreciated her and how grateful I am and how much love it's like pouring out of my heart. But this isn't just about me and her. This is the energy. It's just, and it's like you can't describe it. Even spending a few hours with Lisa yesterday, all I could see through the entire experience, and we talk shop the whole time we're together. Lisa's just like you see her on camera. Lisa's like boom, 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 boom. And I am too. But God, it was intense. It was an opportunity for elevation and expansion and growth. And it's like this instant manifestation of opportunity. It's right there in front of us. And it's all these words coming in. Gratitude and humility has been huge for me. Humbleness, magic. I'm watching The Lord of the Rings for 3 or 4 days on The Hobbit, and all I can think of is magic. I've got Kundalini, sacred sexual energy, running all through me right now as I sit here. I mean, it's like, oh my God, I'm going to jump out of my seat. I don't know if and I love what Kerry said. It's here. I don't know if the biggest challenge of it all is, poking each other and saying, is this really going on? Is this really happening? But it really is, and I'm with you. I can't describe it. I told Morgan, I think yesterday, I said, or the day before, I was like, this is how I feel, but I don't want to say it all the time because I don't want to sound all schmaltzy. You know what I mean? I don't want to be, you know what I mean? It's just, it won't, it's not going away. It's not going away, and it's not about Todd, not about Morgan. It's about all of us. It's about all these connections that are aligning. And I go back to what Amanda, September, and the way she explained it all the work that we did is being reciprocated now. Why it went the way it did, I have no idea. I've heard people describe it differently. I remember Lavelle Zimmerman talking about it was like a tuba, like the end of a tuba, and we went into the channel, and in that channel we were like a suspended animation, and so everything was on hold, and like we come out the other end of it, and it's like a tuba end, and it all hits us. And I think that's where we're at. I really, one other thing too is, and I can't remember the words. We were talking last night, Morgan, and she said, all of this has felt like an energy of transformation. But now this next year is, and I forget the word she used, but close enough, is materialization,
Yes.
Manifestation.
Yes.
And that's what I feel. I feel like the creative aspect is kicking in, and I know in my own life, that's what I'm feeling. And it is so freaking profound. It is so heavy in a good way. It is like a giant, I thought Kerry said a minute ago, a boulder, like a boulder, whenever she was saying. But yeah, it's here. It's here.
Well,
I think
I'd love to know what Kerry thinks about all of what you've just said, as well as, I just want to share that early October, higher self told me I was patently aware to not make any plans for the rest of the year and to focus entirely on the energy within and the activations that would follow. Now, that was early October. So by early November, I understood exactly what my higher self was telling me to do, because the activations had started, and they've been relentless activations for people since October and November and December. The reason, in other words, focus intently on the energy we were receiving within our body, to understand it and focus on it, not to make material plans. So only a couple of weeks ago, I actually felt a total, complete blank for next year. And I understood why. And it was because of this solstice. And it's not over yet. It's not over today. It carries on tomorrow. And for the rest of the year will be, those few days that we have left will be the integration of what's occurred today. But the reason being that I had a blank screen for 2019 is because we'll never be the same again. We will see things from a totally different, it's already happened. We're seeing now, today, from a totally different perspective than yesterday. It's a huge, huge change. And yet we're only at the start of what today's change is, which is what Kerry said earlier.
Yeah. This is the beginning of our new lives. This is the beginning of what we can really call our ascension process. I think it is. Do you know what we thought was going to happen at the Mayan calendar, which was 21 December 2012? In 2012, a lot of us had an expectation that some big mega shift was going to take place, and it didn't. For most people, at the 21st of the 12th, the shift was too subtle for them to realize. And today, these few years later, 6 years later, this is what I expected at that 2012 December 21st time period. That's what I expected. And we're going through it. We're in the beginning. I feel like a baby who's taken her first step. I feel like this is humanity as a whole, the baby taking the first step into our ascension process. And, I remember in July, I think it was July, I wrote a blog about how 2019 marked the beginning of ascension in earnest. And the majority of people who commented on it said it was too wishful, it was too fanciful, I was projecting my hopes and my dreams as much as they wished it would come true. They just thought it was impossible. Ha! It's happening. It is happening. I feel it with such clarity, with such knowing, with such certainty. I'm in the experience of it right now. Amanda, as you know, tomorrow I'm doing a very big activation. I'm doing a private webinar tomorrow, the 22nd, for people to consciously embody what today offers them, what the potential of today offers them. Do you know my son Joshua? Amanda, you know Josh. Josh is 12, Todd. And he's a very, very quiet boy, but he's a very tuned in child. He's incredibly tuned in. And he said to me today, the most out of the blue comment, he said, Mom, what's that thing that you always talk about where the lights come and then we move into another dimension? So I said, oh, my boy, you must be talking about the ascension. He goes, yeah, that thing. Has it happened yet, Mom? Where did that question even come from? And I said, what made you ask it? And he said, no, I just wondered. I thought maybe it happened like a few years ago and you just hadn't told me. How amazing is that? How amazing is that? But that's what today feels like. Today feels like, for those who are, as Amanda, you put it so perfectly when you called it a portal, for those who are in the portal, for those who are transitioning into their ascension, true ascension cycle now, it feels like this day is the chapter 1. This day is the chapter 1. This is where our language changes. This is where the way we perceive color, the way, the meaning of words, everything shifts today and will never be the same. And Amanda, that's why when you were looking at this time period, you couldn't see beyond it. Because the old reality doesn't exist beyond this.
It seriously doesn't. It doesn't. And can I just add for people watching this now or later, if people haven't felt the shift that we're talking about, it's really, really important that they don't go into feeling less than, okay? Because it's like opening a lane on a motorway or a highway. The lane is open now, and there are cars going through, and those cars that are going through now are saying, come on, it's open, come on. Everybody can go through that, everyone, because it's the energies that have come in on this spiral that we have always been on. It's not a moment that we've had before. This is a new moment. And the ones that have felt it today are the ones that are in service to the whole already. And they're literally pulling people through just from love. We're not pulling people through. They come through if they want. But the point is, it's open. And so everybody, you don't have to wait for another portal for you to go through. Yeah. It's open, full stop. And everybody will go through this portal that's already now open at their own pace. And there's no rush, and there's no race, and there's no competition. There's just love. And there is just home, the other side. It's home. It's the home we've been journeying to and wanting. All we ever wanted was to go home, and this portal has taken us home. And people will understand this, and they'll go through it more and more and more next year. We'll see it. We'll see it through all the medias that we're all associated with, of people feeling that they're now home because of this solstice. I didn't realize it would be this big, Todd. I knew it would be big, but I didn't know. I never have an expectation, but I didn't realize this was.
Well,
and you know Linda Scott, Todd.
Yeah.
She's through. I've been chatting to her today, and she's just got no words, which is, you know, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know?
And as usual.
Sorry. Sorry. Amanda, you talk about home, and I feel the impact of that so immensely, because I feel the truth of it when you say it. But it also is very close to my heart, because I've counseled so many homesick starseeds. I have
I can't hear Kerry.
Yeah, her signal faded. It'll come back. It'll come back. She's moving into that's 5D language, actually. Yeah, her signal just. Okay, she'll be back.
Okay, she'll be back.
You know what I was going to say, and you guys are both saying it. I think again, here we go, trying to describe what's happening, and you don't have the words for it. This morning when I got up, I went through a hell of a night. I told you, purging in dream state, primarily, and her signals. Oh, there she is.
I'm back.
Okay. We'll pick you back up. We'll pick you back up in just 1 second. I was going to say, following up with what you were starting to say, what Amanda was saying. When I got up this morning, I was having a lot of transmissions or downloads, whatever you want to call it. And the other thing I want to say real quick is, over the last couple of weeks, they're like nonstop. Like Mandy was saying, they're just like coming in, boom, 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 right? Well, when I got up this morning, I was thinking about the Soulogy Network. I was thinking about my work. And I got this really clear, and it fits right in with what y'all are saying, this new home. It's the new day, the first chapter, the first page of the new chapter, the new book, right? And I clearly got, we're all, not all of us, but many of us are like going, okay, we got to do this work. We got to do this work. We got to help the humanity. We got to help the collective. I got to put this book out. I got to do this webinar or whatever it is, right? And I clearly got that, relax, you guys have already done it. The energetic impact and impression into this dimension, therefore into the universe, has already been done. So now it was like telling me, just relax, man.
Yes.
Enjoy yourself. Relax. Go get a Mai Tai, sit on the beach, and, you know, chill out. So anyway, go back to Kerry before she got cut off.
So I was saying that so many people have been homesick.
Yeah.
Specifically starseeds. And some of them can't articulate it. They talk to me about an underlying grief, and they don't know where it comes from. And, you know, we understand what it is to be homesick for a place that you don't even remember. But there's something in us that never forgot. There's something in us that never forgot that we came from, for many of us, a place of harmony and a place of connectedness, where we were connected to each other, to the land, to ourselves, to our universe within. The connection was intact. So our homesickness is not necessarily for a place. It's for a state of being. And I get a lot of this. You see, I do these soul readings, which I've spoken about before, and Amanda knows the journey with those. They're kind of fading away because it only allows me to reach one person at a time. And the groups are calling and they're much bigger. But in the one-on-one space, people ask me the question, so Kerry, where am I from? Like, where's my soul from? And I can tell them. But if I do, and for example, I might say, okay, so, you know, your initial individuated embodiment was Sirius, was the Pleiades, was wherever it was. What does that do for a person? How does that change your life? In my perspective, even though I'm the purveyor of the information, I can tell you right now, it does not change you. It doesn't change you unless you can connect with what did it feel like there? What did it feel like to be you there? What does home feel like? And for all of us, can we embody home here? Because it's not about going back home. It's about bringing home here. And today and every day here on is our opportunity to do exactly that now. It is to bring home here through the embodiment of some crazy background noise going on there, Todd.
Yeah. Sorry, go on, Kerry.
You know, as we come into this home state, Amanda, I'm so grateful for what you said, which was, if you are listening to this and you haven't felt that, it's okay, you will. We're all going to feel this on our day. And it doesn't matter when and where. It matters that it's available now. So I'm really, really grateful for what you said, Amanda, number one. And number two that I wanted to say was, the message I got today very strongly was, as we now enter into this new territory, we must now more than ever be very mindful of our thought process. Because as we accelerate and as we evolve ourselves, we become more instant and more potent in our manifesting. And whether we realize it or not, whether we've tuned into this or not, we have all shifted. So really now more than ever, be mindful of not just the words, but the thoughts that you're processing inside your universe. Be mindful of all that you are creating, even when no one is looking, because obviously consciousness is always aware.
All day today, well, not all day, but it just kept going in to my thoughts, was the words, home is a state of being.
Oh, wow.
And because that's exactly what I was and am experiencing. It's a state of being. It's not a place. Yeah. But I think the fascination is understandable to want to know. The original fascination of wanting to know where you have come from, what lives you've lived in what types of bodies and energies. I think that's just part of the ascension journey that we all go through, that part. And it is a case, I believe, of still, remember we've had our memory pretty much wiped. And so in this physical body, the journey home, we're still holding a fascination for the manifested worlds. Now, whether that fascination is on Gaia or whether it's on Sirius or on Lyra, we have a fascination for what is outside of us in the manifested state. And what has been happening for me, and I feel this is it's kind of like the penultimate part before you do feel in a state of home, is that the fascination for anything manifested dissolves. It doesn't hold your focus. It doesn't hold your interest. It doesn't hold stimulus for you. And what becomes far, far more stimulating is what we could have described as the subtle energies within us when we awoke. Because those subtle energies within become less and less subtle and more fascinating. And then they become more fascinating than the manifested world. In other words, the manifested world comes from the unmanifested world, which is within us. And so everything that is within us is literally everything in an unmanifested state. And that experience of it, the unmanifested, is what draws us, magnetizes us away from the manifested world and the solidity and the questions. And it's that going within, it's that drawing ourselves within ourselves and within ourselves that is the activation. We have to be able to let go of what is formed in order to elevate our consciousness so that we can experience from the unformed. Because home is unformed. It's not formed. It's a state.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, then you have the reality of the physicality. You know, we can talk about Sirius, or our lineage, or parallels, or future, past, but you're Kerry, I'm Todd, and you're Amanda. And how do we know that when we incarnate somewhere down the road, we're not going to be feeling homesick for Todd or Kerry or Amanda? I still say the human is the hero. It's the final piece of the equation. You cannot have alignment of multidimensionality without the human in alignment, which Kerry brought up, embodiment, you know? And this is what, this is why I'm excited. This is why I'm excited. I'm excited because we're right in this story. And we're past that, what you just beautifully explained, we're past all of that pining and aching and longing, and we're actually realizing, coming full circle, realizing the incredible profoundness, you know, of where we are right now and what's actually happening. And what's really accentuated that, what's really kicking this off is the, you know, to use the old verbiage, the veils are gone. The veils are gone. And what you're giving me today, both of you, is basically the work. I don't want to say the work is over, but the whole stressing and trying and pushing and pulling and you know, the hamster on the wheel thing, it's over. It's like, you know, like I got that message today. Just enjoy yourself. You guys have already done it. Just the more you can move into that, the more you'll realize where you're at, and the more it grows. It's magic. That's all I can say. It's magic, and I'm excited about what's happening, and I really feel a sense of relaxation. A sense of almost casualness.
Yeah.
You know, like the pressure is kind of off. You know, that's the feeling that, and here we are struggling with words to try to describe it, you know.
Yeah. And
Kerry,
I
Kerry.
so she's back.
Yeah.
I so love what you said. I think it's so important what you said, or significant, should I say, is that it is the human. It is about the human doing this, you know, because what we're doing is we're bringing in a higher state of consciousness into the solid human vessel. And then that human, that solid human, is able to be a balanced, neutral, harmonious being upon Gaia. So that it is exactly about being in the human. It's not about just having experiences, astral projecting. It's about doing the work on the human. It's about going into the heart space, because that is the portal, that everybody has that portal. And it's through that portal that we reach the highest state. But it is exactly about doing it in the physical vessel. In other words, if a person spent, I don't know, a lot of their time astral projecting into other realms and didn't work on their human, that astral projection and all those experiences they have will always be temporary. They'll always come back to the human that is unbalanced.
Unbalanced, unrecognized, and unbalanced, unrecognized. You know, we have to honor that. We have to honor that human. I'm tired of referring to the human as the human. The human is the divine human, and I think that's what you're talking about. Go ahead, Kerry.
So often I hear people talk about humanity as if they are just this plague of the planet, you know. And there is that dark side to humanity that justifies and warrants that kind of thinking. But we're talking here about seeing ourselves as a human species in our innocence again, where we can look at humanity and see what is so beautiful within each human. There is that divine spark of innocence within each human that always reaches for more. Like everybody who's listening right now is reaching for more. Every single one of them is listening because they are becoming just the most inspiring thing about humanity. And when we see that, when we see our collective through new eyes, through the higher perspective, we can develop a real sense of not just love, but pride in being human, because so few of us allowed ourselves to ever be proud of being human. It's like men were denied the right to be proud of being masculine because of all the perceived wrongdoing. You know, in South Africa, white people are not allowed to be proud of being white because of all the previous oppression. But look at that at a macrocosmic scale. At the macrocosmic scale, we don't allow ourselves to be proud of being human on the planet. But if we see ourselves through the eyes of beauty and we see ourselves through the eyes of innocence and through that higher perspective, we can only be awed, absolutely awestruck at what we are. The human spirit is the most magnificent thing. And for each of us, we are rekindling the flame of our innocence. We've always seen ourselves as wrong and tainted and bad. But here we're shifting into seeing our beauty. And I think that shifts the collective to a place that it's never been at before.
Boom. Mic drop.
Baby.
I feel like I'm bursting. Like, you know, I could say my heart, I've often felt my heart bursting, but I feel like my whole entire body's bursting. It's something that's come to me just listening to y'all, that's been reinforced with even what I got this morning. It's okay, you know? I just feel like the pressure's off. It's like,
yes.
You know, you ever like a balloon, the balloon's blown up and you just let some of that pressure out.
Yes.
You know, it's just like, that's, I don't know. I don't want to say the hard part's over. It's just like, I don't know. You made the reference to some of these people that have been going through the stomach pain and the lower chakra clearing. I'm having some of that right now this morning. I'm like, what is going on here? This is physically impossible. What's happening to me? But I realize it's energy. We're energy, you know, and it's just like you said earlier, like Kerry said, you know, this is why it's important to guard our thoughts and to really be responsible for them, because it's immediate and instant. What's happening? It's immediate and instant.
Yeah.
This is the law of attraction ain't got shift on this. You know what I mean? I mean, this is this is like quantum from that whole concept or understanding or definition. You know, this is way beyond.
Do you know, Todd, I so agree. I feel zero pressure whatsoever. There is no pressure. There's no pressure, and there never needs to be any pressure ever again. That's how it feels. And I do understand completely through being on the path, through awakening and going on the path, doing the work, is that it's the linear mind. I say this from being it myself, okay? The linear mind puts pressure on us. We put pressure on ourselves, and probably because we just want and desire this so much. And there's nothing wrong with that desire. It accelerates us. It pushes us forward, that desire. But we do, in turn, from a human aspect, put pressure on ourselves. But today, I have zero pressure on anything, on what you could call future. There's no pressure there because I have complete trust, Todd. Absolute, complete and utter trust. There's presence. There's presence. I can't ignore that. It's presence, and it's just here. But at the same time, I can completely understand the perspective of putting pressure on ourselves because we just all want it naturally. So, but it's here. It's here for everyone. Just relax. And in fact, relaxing is the best thing anyone can do, because it's when we relax the mind and stop thinking that the magic comes and the magic appears, and we start to see and we start to hear as soon as we turn off that pressure that we put on ourselves. It's just to relax and allow the flow, and then you can be present for the experiences that are there. They're there for you to see and hear and feel. It's so beautiful. It really is so beautiful.
Yeah, and I think that's why somebody mentioned Kundalini. Amanda Brickerhoff mentioned the static is gone, and I think that's why people are experiencing stuff, because this is more than clearing. As we turn into our natural nature, and we're past this tipping point. Today is a huge day. I feel it, and it's like we're not used to it. So I go, what's going on here? I'm sitting here in my chair, and my lower chakras are on fire. I mean, literally. I'm like, what is going on here? But I realize this is just going to take some getting used to. This is really like the biggest part of it now is just getting used to it. I mean, I love what you said about the pressure thing, because that's how we were built. We did all this stuff and put all this pressure on ourselves throughout all of our incarnations so that we could get to this point, to get to, quote unquote, heaven or nirvana, right? And the funny thing is we're sitting right here and it's happening. It's happening. And we just, I think relaxing is a huge step towards finding the right words, because that is a pure love frequency. Relaxation, you cannot be relaxed and calm and cool and collected if you have that pressure and if you have that chatter. That chatter's not us anymore. It's gone. And I think it's just going to take some getting used to, whether it be the physical aspect of Kundalini energy or synchronicities or experiences we have with other people where everything just aligns. You know, Morgan and I had one last night, which was just basically sitting in silence, not saying, oh, let's do this, oh, let's do that, just being in a space. And I made the comment to her afterwards. I said, wow, that's like just healing. You know, it just healed. And she said, that's pure love energy. That's what it is.
Yeah, you know? Beautiful. And it's, you know, we've already arrived at the point where silence is actually louder than conversation. It seriously is more powerful than conversation. And we're only just really getting used to that. And more people will get used to sitting with one another in silence, because they will receive far more benefit than the words that person speaks. It's the energy. It's so potent and transforming for each.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Amanda, you said something that I wanted to comment on, and it's that many people will listen to this and go, how do I do this? How do I integrate this? How do I move forward? How do I apply this? Because I just think that that's the way that the brain was wired. So out of habituated thinking, people hear, okay, so we're shifting energy. Now what do? And of course, there is no doing. But in order to catch up, the number one thing that everybody can do right now and today and every day moving forward is be in conscious stillness, silence. And a lot of people will say out of habit, they'll say, oh, I can't do that because my mind is too busy. But I think if you go and try it today, you'll find that your mind is quieter than it's ever been before. And it's easier and easier by the day to sink into that stillness, to connect with the heart space. It's now an obvious automated thing. And so I have people saying to me, oh, I think it was just fluke. You know, I think it was just total chance that I sat in stillness and for the first time, my brain didn't interrupt me. Maybe it was just because I'm very tired. You see, so they dismiss the fact that it's become easy. But let's claim the truth. It has become easier and more essential to catch up every day with ourselves, to connect with ourselves. We're learning to listen to ourselves here, aren't we? We're learning to connect within. And in order to do that, we have to cultivate stillness and silence and use that as the ground, the foundational ground to build a new relationship with life, with ourselves, with our universe on. So stillness, silence, Amanda, that's exactly where we're at. That's the how-to. That's the big complicated, how do I do this? Silence, stillness. Sorry, Amanda, what was that?
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. The challenge is quietening the linear mind. I call it the linear mind. It just doesn't stop. And it either does that to itself or it does it to other people. And it's not a problem, but it's if you're wanting to be able to listen and feel your higher self, then you are going to have to just one day at a time practice quietening the mind, even if it's just for a couple of seconds each day. It's practice, and that practice becomes easier. And I say that from a person whose mind was like that inside 24/7 in 2012. So if I can do it, anybody can. That's what I'm saying. But you have to want to. If a person's not willing or wanting to do it, they're not going to do it, and they'll just carry on using their linear mind.
That's true. That's true.
The desire has to be there.
I think that's another thing too, is the whole not my circus, not my monkeys thing, you know? And I mean that in a nice way, because I think that's another thing that's happening too, is more and more people are taking responsibility for themselves and for their own circle of life. And so there's less emphasis on projection or focus on things external, because I think that whole magical equation of internal to external materialization has taken hold, and the universal energy is supporting truth like it never has before. I don't know how else to put it, but so whether you're going into silence, well, really, it even goes deeper than that. Like you said, if you have whatever that desire is, whatever your desire is, it's immediate. It's instantaneous. And that's why, you know, what Kerry said earlier, at a higher level, at a quantum level, to guard our thoughts, to be responsible for our thoughts, because they're as real as anything. That is the most real origin of expression that we have, that we can see, touch, and feel, because it's immediate. This stuff is happening immediately. That's why I would not doubt to be seeing both of y'all in a bathing suit over here on the beach here in the next couple of days.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
But I'm
ready.
But you know
I'm
what
ready
I mean.
for
You know
Hawaii.
what I mean. Yeah, but you know what I mean. I mean,
yes.
it's that.
I do know, Todd. I think I feel now that we're in December, the people that are awake, I would say more people understand that they are responsible for their thoughts, their words, and their actions, and all of that creates their reality. I think more people understand it now in December than at the beginning of the year. I think at the beginning of the year, a lot of people were kind of dismissing it, but now it's so loud that is the way we manifest our reality, is through our own thoughts, words, and actions. And there's no denying that truth. It is how we manifest within our self-created reality. And so I feel even if people can't quite control it, they're aware of it, that's how it works.
Yeah. I agree.
I just had Morgan came by, so it threw me off my game.
Oh, Morgan!
I can't help it.
Where is she? She's not coming in.
She's, you know how she is. She's camera shy.
I know.
Oh my God, she still turns me on every time I look at her. I don't know what that's all about.
Well, good, Tom. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. The Kundalini energy is in full force.
Yeah. She's definitely not coming on camera now after you said that, Todd.
No, she's down there. She's down over there. So, yeah, she's getting me some breakfast. We have, such a tightening of this. And I think another thing we're leaving behind is these labels. But this tightening Blu-ray grid of this, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's tightening. I feel it. And then that in and of itself is a profound thing, because we're two or more gathered. You know what I mean? I mean, I feel it. I can see it, touch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's another thing that's exciting to me. But if I throw that against the backdrop of what happened this morning, which was you guys have already done it. I saw that in a way, and it's not a linear vision. It's a quantum vision. We have done it. Whatever we've impressed in the physical and even, energetically, obviously, has already been done. This is not going to be like it was in the past where we open up a sacred text. The sacred text is in the ethers, It's already out there instructing and transforming others and building a more expansive consciousness based on the pure intentions of our heart, It's as Amanda says, the game on.
Yeah. Next year's going to be fun, isn't it? Yeah. Next year is going to be like nothing we've experienced before. Wow. Yeah. It's just a new ball game altogether next year.
Yeah. I've always felt 2019. I've always felt 2019 as a year of great profundity. Like this is, if anybody were to ask me where is life going to shift, I would have said this is it right now as we come into 2019, because we have never been more ready. And a lot of us still sit in the mindset, and that's all that it is the mindset of, oh, we're not ready, or, oh, we don't know how, or, things have still got to shift on the political arena or wherever we expect them to shift externally. But it's all done, like Todd says so perfectly, that if we just allow ourselves in our mindset now to gravitate towards just picturing ourselves in that ascension consciousness of 2019. Because what most people will be doing, and again, it's just thoughts are just habit. But out of the habituated thinking, what most people will do, especially at this time of year, is they'll say, oh, 2019, I'm not thinking about it. Because then I've got to think about bills and going back to work and responsibility and all of that stuff. But if we get excited right now, if we get really excited right now and start planting ourselves inside of our hearts and getting excited about the potential of what 2019 is for humanity, for our planet, and just hold the vision. If the people listening just for 5 minutes, which they're doing through this conversation, we have then affected what rolls out and plays out in 2019, because in this conversation, we are giving each other permission to create ascension consciousness in 2019. For some reason, and it's just the wiring of the brain, we keep pushing it further and further. The closer we get, the more we push it further away from ourselves. I don't know if you've heard people speak this way. I have. I hear people talk about, in 2045.
Oh, yeah.
What? 2045? Are you insane?
Yeah,
2040. Yeah, thank you. I agree. We're doing it right now. But if more minds open to the possibility and the potential and the ease of that, the more we create a quickening for that to happen. We don't need anymore an external permission.
The only thing I could see about 2019, and I saw this kind of back in March this year, was that it would be the year of doing, but not the year of doing based on linear thoughts. It's the year of manifestation in alignment with the highest good for the whole. And so I see 2019 as sorry, I was just listening to that chap in the background. Sorry. So 2019 for some will be about doing what aligns 100% completely with the highest good for the whole. And I mean, when I say the whole, I mean Gaia, humanity, the kingdoms outside of Gaia, the galactics. It's for the whole. And that excites me no end. And how that manifests is how really it is the greatest guidance for anybody, and that is to trust in the moment and just to allow each step to unfold. Because planning long-term future, that's linear mind wanting and seeking to control its life. That's exactly what we've let go of. It's that having that trust in knowing that the steps will unfold for you. So there are obviously people that are still clearing, and that might mean that they've got to make changes in their lives to align with their highest path and their highest good and their highest truth. So that will happen in 2019 for a lot of people as well. But in conjunction with people changing their lives so that they live by their inner truth for them and their path and their heart as well, there'll be a lot of activity on the planet of people manifesting and creating in alignment with love and the highest good for the whole. So they'll be in service to the whole next year. So not a linear idea of business. It's not linear. The linear is, it's third dimensional mind. That's that type of business. This is creating simply because it's in alignment with heart. And that's how we manifest. That's our highest truth and the highest way I feel we live. It's exactly why we are ascending.
Mm. And if we're not in control, Amanda, we're in trust. Because you talk about how, we're stepping out of that linear control space, which I think is the most wondrous thing that could happen to humanity. As we come out of that control space, though, I think a lot of people are going to be going, so what is there now if I don't have control? Because control gave people an illusory sense of safety.
False sense.
Yeah.
A false sense of safety. Nothing stays the same. Everything flows. Everything moves. Nothing stays the same.
They had that. They felt safe in the illusion that they were in control and that it was the same, and everything was predictable. And it gave them a sense of stability in the world that doesn't work anymore. So now they're replacing control with a new energy, and that new energy is trust. But it's not an external trust, it's an internal trust. It's to trust our own inner self, the own inner essential being. And what a profound shift this is. Do you see how all of this is happening and we don't even realize it? It's almost like these waves come in and hit the planet. These ascension waves come in and hit the planet. And it's as if nobody really knows what's just happened, but they wake up a day, a week, a month, 6 months later, and they go, oh yeah, I used to be a whole lot more controlling. When did that change? Or I used to be a whole lot more frenetic in my thinking. Oh yeah, when did that change? This is the nature of ascension, is it just sweeps us up with it.
Yeah. I remember when I used to remember what I was doing from one day to the next. I'd remember that. Now, how's your memory, Todd?
It's by 3D standards, it's horrible. I can't remember anything.
It's a good thing, though, don't you think? It's a good thing.
I know. I got a message from somebody yesterday that's part of the community, and I was out running around, and it said, "How do you handle everything?" This is a very high vibrational person. I didn't know if it was a rhetorical question or what, because they're that high vibrational. How do you handle everything when you see so much and all the pieces coming into place? Question mark. Now, this is somebody who's been doing the work and building, right, for years. And I didn't know what to say. I just said, for me, it's without the energy of force and control or framing it up, surrendering to the embrace, because we're in quantum now. I think that's what you're saying. It's like, and that's my whole point earlier, was the biggest challenge is getting used to this. It's getting used to being relaxed. We all been walking around with our sphincter muscles tightened up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean, really, because the whole pressure was our validation that we're doing the right thing. Oh, I got to go to work, or I got to be a good dad, or I got to be a good spouse, or I got to do this, or I'm not good. The flip side of it. So that, to me, it's like getting used to our natural state. But it is becoming easier, and the universal energy is supporting that energy. We're not talking words here. We're talking energy, And I've seen some profound examples of that in the last 24 hours in my own little circle of life. And they're so subtle, but it's magic. It's magic, and it's real. I mean, we think, we're going to go out here and create a crystal city and say abracadabra, and that's the validation the human needs. But it's the little bitty energetic experiences and interactions that are the building blocks of that, And who knows? We're limitless, like you said earlier. We're limitless.
I think also the trust. It's not just having trust in our inner being or in our higher self. It's that realization and trust in the fact that there is one huge, massive, grander design that is in operation, and it's the human being, perhaps, initially when they were unawakened. Certainly, I was, of not not having that knowing that there is an infinite intelligence and an infinite design that is far, far bigger than our linear minds can even start to comprehend. And it's having trust in that, not just the higher aspect of ourselves, but the whole bigger picture. And that is a beautiful trust to have. It in times of difficulty that we all have and experience, to have that trust in source or in infinite being, whatever you want to call it, is what will get you through, and what will get you through to the next day and the next day and the next day.
Yeah.
Because then you know you're not alone, and you certainly are not alone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not happening to us anymore. We're happening to it. You know what I mean? We're discovering that
I
we
love
are.
that.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to bring this beautiful collaboration to a close.
Thank you, Todd.
Get ready for the next two shows. We have our beautiful sister, Shakina Rose, coming on in 30 minutes. And,
brilliant.
It's always phenomenal when she comes on.
Yeah, I'm going to tune into that, Todd, because she's just an amazing sister. Amazing.
Yeah, she really is.
Yeah.
And, it should be really good. She sent me a note this morning to download something that she received. So I'll play it on the show. And I'm sure she's going to do some harmonic light language. And I don't know. We always have a very good experience. And so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And after that, Katie and the Crow's going to come on and do a little ceremony. So thank you so much, both of you. I love you very much.
Thank you, Todd. And, thank you, Kerry.
Thank you, darlings.
God bless everybody. Lots of love to you all.
Yeah. Hope to see y'all soon here on the beach.
What fun. What fun.
Y'all take care. I love you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Love to Morgan.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
I will. I'll tell her. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.